Hello, moviegoers. Welcome to another episode of CritiCarter, the show where I turn you into a cinephile. Today, I saw the new film, Hope Springs. Directed by David Frankel, written by Vanessa Taylor, and starring Meryl Streep, Tommy Lee Jones, and Steve Carell. In this film, an older couple takes a trip from Nebraska to Maine to rekindle the fires of their once thriving marriage. Now you might be saying to yourself, Carter, why would you possibly go see this movie?
I said that to myself.
I mean, after all, you got The Campaign and The Bourne Legacy both came out this week. Now the thing about that is most of the comedies that come out of Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis are not really my cup of tea. So I knew right off the bat The Campaign was not going to get a good review. And while I am somewhat interested to see if The Bourne Legacy could hold up, despite the fact that I've never seen any of the Matt Damon starring Bourne movies, it didn't really grab me especially either. However, my wonderful girlfriend Liz, who is off camera right now, you wanna come in? No? Okay. She said, hey, let's go see this movie. And I figured, okay, you know what? I like Tommy Lee Jones, I like Meryl Streep, and when Steve Carell isn't being wacky, he can give a really good performance. So I'd give it a chance. Unfortunately, that was a mistake. Hope Springs has quite a few problems, especially when you consider the high caliber of the actors involved. The film is about two people who, for all intents and purposes, are broken, which should make it a very tragic thing. The couple's been married for over 30 years, and the guy doesn't really seem interested in his wife, and the wife suffers because of that. And yet, the entire audience, it seemed, which I should note, all of them had at least 30 years on Liz and myself, so maybe this is just a generational thing. Everybody else seemed to think it was the most hilarious movie ever. Everybody was just laughing their heads off. It was terrible. And Steve Carell plays the marriage counselor in this film, and I personally think he was horribly miscast. When I see Steve Carell in a suit, maybe this is just my problem, but he's just sitting there in a suit and, talking to them in a soft voice, looking very thoughtful. And I'm just waiting for him to bust out into Michael Scott, because when I see Steve Carell in a suit, that's what I think. I think that guy from The Office who can't help but say inappropriate things to everybody, it works for him. And it really took me out of the experience. I couldn't believe that he was just a guy. He was this particular guy. And the title of the film, Hope Springs, didn't really have a problem with it, because it reflects the nature of Meryl Streep's character and how, she always thinks there's a brighter tomorrow, and, she holds out for the possibility that her marriage can be better in spite of everything that she faces. And that would have been enough. But there's a shot in the movie when Meryl Streep and Tommy Lee Jones are walking down the street, and there's this pan to one side, and you see a big map of the town that they're in, which is called Great Hope Springs. And that's just a little more on the nose than I like my movies to be. And this doesn't really have anything to do with the movie itself, just something that I noticed when I was doing my extra little research on IMDb before we shot. The credits all are, okay, aside from the main characters of Meryl Streep, Tommy Lee Jones, and Steve Carell, everybody has a first name and a description, like Karen, the bartender. I understand that movies, for the most part, aren't just featuring the main characters, but really, if you're not going to call the background characters by their names, do they need to have names? Can't they just be the bartender, or the docent, or whatever it is? I mean, really, you could do this as a play with just the three main people, and I think it would have potential for so much more than it is. Hope Springs is a waste of time and talent for everyone involved, and a waste of money for anyone who decides to go see it. Therefore, I give it a 1.5 out of 5 curious Meryl Streeps. You can see my review last week of Total Recall up over there, and next week I'll be reviewing the new stop-motion film Paranorman. I have my review up over there after we shoot that next week. Be sure to like and favorite this video if you enjoyed watching it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and remember, you can always find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr, all as CritiCarter. Paint the black.